Hello, dear students. Today we discuss about American literature. In that poetry, first unit poetry. The first poem is Reluctance. What is reluctance? Reluctance is unwillingness or disinclination to do something. It was written by Robert Frost. Robert Frost was born in 26th March 1874. He was called as nature poet because he always deals about nature and life. So he called us nature poet. He won many awards for his works in poem. He is an American poet. He finally died in 29th January 1963. Let's we discuss about the reluctance. The reluctance is unwillingness to do something. Here, Robert Frost, he is an yearly lyrics of Frost poem. It is reluctance. It is quite representative of the poet's wistful and a sense of isolation. The poet written in 1912 and published in 1913. It is a characteristic poem of Frost. First, I read the poem line by line. Out through the fields and the woods, and over the walls I have wended. I have climbed the hills of view and looked at the world and descended. I have come by the highway home, and lo, it is ended. This poem explains about the narrator. Here, the narrator is Robert Frost. He was traveled throughout the world across mountains and rivers, and now he finds himself the home is path to back to home. The path is way. Next stanza, the leaves are all dead on the ground, save those that the oak is keeping to ravel them one by one and let them go scrapping and creeping out here over the crusted snow when others are sleeping. This stanza deals about Robert Frost was walking on the deep forest. There, many peoples are dead, and the dead body is on the ground. And the oak is nothing but it's a kind of a tree which is in the forest. It is keep raveling and one by one. Here, the crust means it is an overlayer. Snow, you already know, snow is a type of ice layer. When others are sleeping, the sleeping here deals about the death of your peoples. Now, next stanza. And the dead leaves lie huddled and still, no longer blown, leather and tether. The last lone aster is gone. The flowers of the witch hazel wither. The heart is still aching to see, but the feet cushion wither. Here, the stanza deals about the dead leaves, the forest, the trees are fallen as the seasons are changed into summer, so the leaves are fallen down, and many bodies, dead bodies, are also in the forest. The narrator who keenly watched the heather and lether. Heather means here and wither means there. The both deals about the place here and there. Now the heart is still aching. Aching means ache. Ache means pain. It's one type of pain in the heart because many dead bodies are fall down in the forest. The narrator keenly watched the dead bodies in the forest, so he had an ache in his heart. Now, last stanza. Ha! When to the heart of man was it ever less than a treason? Treason means one kind of feelings to go with the drift of things, to yield with a grace to reason, and bow and accept the end of a love or a season. Here, the stanza deals about the narrator is a kind hearted man. He was an treason. Treason means one type of feelings to thrash and another people feelings. And here, the yield of a grease to a reason. There isn't some reason why peoples are stumbled back to others. And finally, bow. Bow means bend, bend back, and accept the end of a love or a season. Here, there is an two concept whether the narrator had an love or an season. The seasons are been changed into a summer, so the trees had an leaves are fallen down, so many dead bodies in the forest also in there. So finally, the Robert Frost is the narrator who ends is traveling and come back to home. Once again, I summarize the essay and tell the narrator has traveled throughout the world across mountains and rivers, and now he finds himself on the path it is back home away. His journey has ended, and he is shocked to find himself in singing in a dead season all around him in the crusted snow, dead leaves, and withering flowers. So now I tell you about the hard words and its meanings. Descended. Descended means below. Descended means below. Oak. O-A-K. Oak. Oak means one kind of tree which is in the forest. Ravel. R-A-V-E-L. Ravel. Ravel means a knot. Scrap. S-C-R-A-P-I-N-G. Scrapping. Scrap means it is a slope which is in the mountains or very step by step in the ice glaciers. It's called scrap. Crust. Crust means one kind of layer. And next, treason. Treason. Treason means and crush in a backstubborn. It is a feeling of one who had trust. Okay. And finally, aching. A-C-H-I-N-G. Aching means it's one kind of pain. So these are the hard words in this poem. The reluctance written by Robert Frost. The reluctance is nothing but an unwillingness. Unwillingness or discriminations to do something. First of all, in this poem starts in a traveled mood. Robert Frost had a traveled mood to move on the forest with across mountains and rivers and valleys. And finally, he saw the dead bodies and leaves which was fell in the forest. So his heart was aching, and finally he went back to home. The poem ends with an unrevealed question mark with both of the two reasons. One is love or a season. Here the poem deals about the narrator views, that is 2 point. One is love or a season. So this is very important poem which was frequently asked in our Periyar University examination. So students, you should read these important lines like the Robert Frost has climbed the hills of view and looked at the world and dissented. This is one important lines. And the next important line is and bow and accept the end or a love or a season. These are the both two lines are very important lines. We can write in the essays and you can get more marks. Okay. Thank you, students.